Welcome, Service Alliance Group. This is Miss Ward along with TK and EJ coming from sunny South Florida. What's up, Solid Steppers and Technotypes? Let's go get it.
Love it.
Yeah, we
I'm
changing it
coming
up
from
today.
cold Virginia. The
Yeah.
weather is here. It is cold. It is freezing every morning, and I'm a little jealous of Miss Ward.
If you, in case you didn't notice, Miss Ward's in the house.
Work.
Yes,
Yes, Miss.
sir.
We got her. We're
Yeah,
turning the show over to her. This is her show today. We're gonna do it our way, but she's leading it up. Good morning. Good morning. The powerhouse, Doug Shear. If you come on, we'd have the powerhouse. This is
exactly. What's up, Doug?
Morning, Doug.
good morning, Gasper. He's down there, South Florida, wearing his jacket in 60-degree weather. Miss Ward loving. Well, we got some Miss Ward lovers out here. Good morning,
All
Morning,
right.
Adam.
Alex.
Morning, Alex.
Alex, you asked, and we delivered. You wanted more of Miss Ward? We brought her to you, buddy.
Right from the Georgia Bulldogs. You better get it.
All right, all right. So what's going on?
All right, y'all. We getting ready to get in it today, y'all. We gonna get into the meat, boy. The meat and potatoes, like we like it.
Yes, ma'am.
Just
Yeah.
remember, I started smiling. So just let me ask forgiveness before I start. Yeah. So you
Saul,
got. Mm-hmm.
Saul Flores. Boy, he's down there.
What
All
up,
You
right,
got your
y'all.
Saul?
fans on
So,
today.
hey, hey.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do need to meet Miss Ward.
you got to earn that, Mike. You got to earn
Yeah,
that.
you'll never be the same, sir. You'll never be the same. I'm sure I won't be either, man. I love it. The Service Alliance group is just some 10 toes down. I love these guys.
We love you
All
too, Miss Ward. We appreciate you supporting us, and we don't take for granted that you're willing to come on and hang out with us on the regular. So we appreciate you.
right. Yeah.
And we got a dynamite topic today. I'm a little bit overly excited because Miss Ward was the one that suggested it, and when she suggested it, I was like, "Oh yeah, here we go, finally."
Facebook one user wants to know if you're going to Ashley, Miss Ward.
See how they all be putting me on blast on date. See, look, see, I
Come
Well,
was
that's
smiling.
on,
Freestyle Friday
Look,
works,
look, I
folks.
would love to be I love to be an Aston. I really let me tell y'all a little story about Aston real quick. The first conference I went to was Aston 2019. And while everybody was going to the tech side, I was going to the business side because I'm all about sales, KPI, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I got a chance to really see it from an analytical point of view. So it was a great experience. I met a lot of people in the industry, and it really shaped and formed how I move because I always move from 100,000 miles up in the sky and look down so I can move the chess pieces accordingly. So I love Asti for that. So I ain't got no issues with Asti. Early on, I had some concerns because, but and those concerns had more to do with diversity. But then you got to understand, like everything else in life, most people don't realize exposure is the key. And we live in a free country, so everybody got a choice. I move a certain way to a certain draw, and so does everybody else. And this is why the way I came into the industry and how I move is the way I move. So now that I understand that perfectly, just like I'm looking here, I got the Oreo going on, and I'm good with it. I'm comfortable. And when you're comfortable in who you are, it don't really matter where you show up. It's how you show up and what you bring to the table. And I always come here because I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. So I would definitely look forward to being in San Antonio. The thing with me is I never like to make a commitments I can't maintain because of my brand and my name. You feel? And I don't
Yeah,
know where I'm gonna be when it come up because I'm everywhere. Like right now, around the corner from Governor DeSantis here in Tallahassee. Because I have some jobs up actually in Georgia today. So Tallahassee is about 30 minutes from Georgia. So
Yeah.
There you
it's
go.
what it is.
So, all of y'all out there, today's Friday. If you didn't know, I've been waiting all week for this, and Friday is freestyle. So what we do is we still do the Bible and business. So we're gonna start with prayer, and then we start with the topic, and then where we go from there is up to you. So you post your comments and questions down below, and we'll make up the answers as we go. So we're gonna kick off the prayer with Miss Ward over here, and then she's brought an awesome topic, as TK said, and it's an important one for the industry, and we'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to rise this morning. Thank you for reminding us every day that we are perfectly and wonderfully made and that we can do all things through you. We know that no one and no choice, no decision has ever been a mistake, that in every mess there's a message. Please touch the hearts, the minds, and souls of everyone this touches. Help them to understand, to open their minds, their spirits, their souls, and absorb the blessings that come before them. Some opportunities come once in life, and we know that. Thank you for giving us a second chance every day to praise your name and have an opportunity to represent you in the greatest light of in the world. Thank you for giving us for every mistake and every misjudgment. Amen.
Amen.
Man, well,
Thank
that
you,
was
Miss
worth the
Ward.
price of admission.
Yeah, well, the reality is we are all human, and as life goes on, we learn and we grow. you know, and we actually have the free will to do that. So that's what I just love the fact that I'm up because there's people who didn't get up today. It's somebody that's sitting in the hospital that don't have an opportunity to dream, breathe, and move, and they don't have an opportunity to call their mom and say they love them, or their daddy and say they love them, or their sister. Somebody that lost somebody today, and they hard feel like they ain't gonna never get over it. And this ain't even me talking, because I realize that I'm a vessel, so I just shut up, listen, and open my mouth and let it come forth. Because in my humanity, I make mistakes every day. I wake up making a mistake,
Amen.
so it's I'm too blessed to be stressed. That's my word. All right,
That's
y'all.
right.
So, what it is that you wanted to talk about, Miss Ward? Drop it.
All right. So what I want to talk about is people learning how to read schematics and understanding diagnostics and being prepared when they go into a job, to to um, being willing to pay. You do what you got to do. To like, for instance, before the podcast, we were having a conversation regarding people showing up to the job without service. Service manuals. In this day and age, there's no excuse. I mean, at the end of the day, get your budget together. You need to go get that service matters, that $270. Split it with three of your friends who you can trust with the password. Is MSA, great source. When you go into resources that they have, you got stuff like you can find decor. Now, I always hear people talking about, I can't find decor, DACOR. Well, go invest in what you need. Go to what is it, USA? Because they have access. It's so many people that have access, and let's not forget Master Samurai over there, appliantology. And people are like, well, I don't want to spend the money. Well, you want to lose the money? It's like investing in your education, and you want to have the tools to do the job. And I don't understand how people show up to the job without schematics, without diagnostics of what you need, because it's like showing up without pen and paper to a class. And this day and age
Bingo.
is too much modern technology, and so many people go on YouTube, and no one's knocking YouTube, because we love YouTube University. I mean, this is how I got in the industry. Researching what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, you got to make a choice to be a professional. And like even Miss Ward, like I started out, I had several jobs a day, boom, 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 boom. I did everything I need to do to try to do my 10,000 hours of mastery as quick as I could because I knew the more I touched it, the more I worked in the industry, the more mistakes I made, the more I learned. And a lot of them were expensive and they costly even today. You feel me? But I was very proud of myself last night. And Service Appliance has manuals too. Thank you, Mr. Volante. I like that name. My name need to grab that one. Maybe I can make it my middle name. So anyway, you want to make sure that you have what you need to be successful. And so you got to slow down and start doing one, two, three jobs a day and start understanding the process, how they work, how the machines work, what effects work. How, like prime example, yesterday I had a GE wall of it, right? Customer blew the you know how they love to do this that time of year. You know what they doing? They doing the self cleaning. So
Self
I go
claim.
in there, self clean, uh, it blew out the high limit switch in the back, switched that out, had power going through it. But me, I came prepared. I came with the high because I know how fragile this is a 2021 model, by the way. So we know how fragile this new equipment is. And so a lot of times they can't take a hit or a short or something like that, particularly in South Florida with our storms. Man, please. So what ended up happening? Not only did it blow that out, but it also damaged the user interface. So because I don't believe in recalls, I took care of the high limit switch. I took care of the board because I know from the schematic it goes from the high limit switch, power goes to the board, and then um, the UI. So look, here I am on the phone with one of my roundtable Geo because he's a certified electrician by trade, just dotting my I's. Not only did I have him on the phone after I got there to make sure my diagnosis was right, but before I went, I sent him a copy and we went over the phone where I should check what and where, just to double check me. And see, that's what people don't understand. Those of us who are successful, and let me just say successful by y'all standards, because people think I'm a big success. For me, I'm nowhere near I should be because where I'm at now was not the plan. Okay. So I'm just like y'all. I'm making it as I go because your blessings are going to put you in places, but are you going to show up? Is your character going to show up? Is your work ethic going to show up? Are you going to be consistently the brand you need to be? Which is goes back to why I'm so selective where I talk and the platforms I show up on because I can't be everywhere. In the beginning, I tried to be everywhere. I spread myself too thin, and I own that. So now I pull all my energy back in, and I try to put it in concentrate in places where I can help the most people because you'll always hear me say on my channel, you gotta have a bag to start. And a lot of people don't agree with that. But I don't want people to get out here, lose their life savings, lose this, lose that, because they're not prepared. You follow me? You got a wife and a kid at home and responsibilities. You are already trying to get in the game so you can win. Well, people, this ain't gonna be popular. Go work for somebody. Get into one of these companies where you can learn. Start your business on the side up through warranty. But the training piece is so important. I have a technician, a mechanical background, mass ASC certified master tech, BMW, Mercedes, blah, blah, blah. But I had worked my way up the corporate ladder. So by the time I came to appliance repair, I was rusty as heck, with schematics. And it's a different dynamic. So at the end of the day, anybody can win, but get your blueprint together. Get on
That's right.
YouTube. You got all the schematics going on, man.
I
Get
love what I love what you said, and I think it goes off of what Saul said here. When you have the wisdom, you can charge accordingly. Customers are going to pay for your professionalism. When you're going in there prepared, and when you're going in there with the knowledge to properly diagnose and execute that service call and give that cut, it's, and I know this not is not necessarily the topic, but they're paying you for more than just fixing their appliance. They're paying you to come out there and give them an experience. I preach this all the time. And at the end of the day, you are going to provide that customer with a better experience when you can go in there and you have the tech sheet. I don't know how many times I've been out on a call and perfect example is a VMW washer. 99% of the time, I don't even need to pull out the tech sheet because I know that machine like the back of my hand. But I'll pop the top, I'll grab the tech sheet out of the front, and the customer's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was there." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is the tech sheet." She was like, "Well, I've had other companies come out, they never use that." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I don't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, that's the difference between me and them." And
That's why you're there.
and I'll say this, those of you, there's a lot of people out there that struggle with schematic reading. And first off, let me say this. Don't It can be overwhelming. Tech sheets in general can be overwhelming. Start small. Start with the most simplest appliance out there, dryers. Find you a basic two roller Whirlpool dryer and master that thing like the back of your hand. You know, we get on here and we talk about the Bible a lot, and we talk about how knowledge and wisdom and understanding work. You receive knowledge, you get it in your head, you apply that knowledge, and it becomes wisdom. And then once you see the results of that knowledge becoming wisdom, you get the understanding. It's the exact same thing with using tech sheets. You got to get the knowledge first. You have to understand how that unit works and how to trace out circuits. And I'm not saying I'm the master at it. There's guys out there and gals out there like Miss Ward that are way better at it than me. But you have to start somewhere. So don't look at it this huge daunting task. Start small, but immerse yourself in it and start dedicating time during your week to learning this craft, because it will be what separates you from the other technicians in your area. It'll take you from a mediocre average technician to an excellent technician. 100%.
Absolutely. I want to add this, and you touched on it, TK. Look at our boy Gasper. Humble as can be, but he knows. He spent hours, well, an hour, but I'm sure he spends more than an hour on his whole day. If you think your job ends when you park the van at the house in your driveway, then you're going to lose. Okay, or you're not going to win at the level that you can. Uh, if you don't know schematics, study it. Get that Eric Kleinert book, the Orange Bible for Appliance Repair. Check out the TMM YouTube. Brother Rick and Brandon, they're breaking it down in words you can understand. There's no excuse for it. And like Miss Ward said, there's too many resources out there for tech sheets and manuals. Uh, Shameless plug, servicealliancegroup.com. We got you covered. Over 150,000 manuals. Easy to
And if we
use
ain't got
website.
it, we'll find it for you.
Yes. So we had a question come in earlier. We can switch gears. Doug Shear. He's got the queen of appliance repair in the house, and he is asking you to break out the crystal ball and tell us, what does the industry look like in 2033? Big picture.
Well, all right. Well, I advised this a couple of years back when I first started. My focus was on high end. The reason my focus was on high end was because I knew that the standard brands were really moving in cahoots with some other people behind the scenes. And when I say that, like for instance, you have a GE product. We all know GE is owned by Hire. Hire also owns Fisher Paykel, right? We also know, if you know anything about Hire, it is a major Asian conglomerate. So if I'm an Asian conglomerate and I'm hanging out with Samsung and I'm hanging out with LG, you know, all in that Asian diaspora, you know, these they plan 20 years in advance, just like the great USA used to do. So you have to understand when you see situations with Assyrian and how, everybody said, oh, Assyrian came out of certain areas. Yeah, they came out of certain areas, but they're just regrouping. because appliance repair has been discovered. So what is going to happen is they're going to continue to go in and buy out these mom and pops and dominate certain areas because they feel like they can cookie cut the game. So if they're cookie cutting the game, they're going to take care of, their share of that market. Unless you're in a smaller market and you got that mom and pop thing down, and you know that these people are going to be still be hanging out 20, 30, 40 years from now, you need to make sure your business has multiple levels of streams of income. Like my business, I have government contracts, I have military, I have all that. And the reason I did that was because I was clear that the standard customer base was going to change. Now I was able to pivot my company because I dealt with mainly high end. So in 2023, what's going to happen is you're going to see more of the behind the scenes game going coming in. And that's why I tell people always look 100,000 miles down from the top of the sky. And the reason you want to do that, because if you notice, you'll notice how the players move. Like back in the day, GE had a certain game. Like I ain't gonna call nobody out, but we had certain people used to work at Samsung. They work at GE. You feel me? Watch how these things move and how these people move because they're telling you the game. So, say for instance, I think the key in appliance repair in 2023 is really going to be specialization. And when I say specialization, if you're going to do refrigeration, you need to do refrigeration at another level. You need to not only do it in residential, but you need to not sleep on the pharmacies. People sleep on pharmacies all the time. One of my biggest contracts is with a pharmaceutical company here that has several warehouses. All that stuff is refrigerated. And they use something called, what is it? Fisher Fisher is like Thermo Fisher or something like that. I forgot the name, but they use these special coolers, and they just really glorify refrigerators, and they're really simpler to work on, but they pay double. You gotta have some type of specialization, and if you're gonna not touch, you don't have to touch seal systems, but you need to get your schematics down. And say you dealing with wall ovens or dryers or what have you, find the ones that no one can fix and dominate in those niches, and that
Mm-hmm.
way you can still eat. But you got to have a plan. Like I don't knock none of these big boys because a lot of these big boys, what they don't tell people, a lot of them started their companies off of the warranty companies, and they grew, and then they got cool to the game of COD, and they transferred over. Now they're competing. They're losing money when it comes to advertising because they can't compete with XYZ because all the keywords, all that money went up. Like it's every like these big guys, they can teach you so much at the same time. A lot of them have such slim margins. It ain't what it used to be because the competition has came up. So when you understand the competition has changed, you got to move a certain way. That's why I tell people I have no problem with people expanding, going to different markets. But how are you expanding? Are you expanding for the long term? Are you expanding to hit a lick? And when I say a hit a lick, you're gonna be there 6 months to a year because you're not home growing your tax. Number one, you're gonna always have that turnover. So you gotta have a plan. And the way my brain works is get your relationship going with the school systems, get your relationships going with workforce in your state, develop training programs with the Department of Labor. These partnerships are a lot easier than you think. I personally know this. You can develop your own apprenticeship programs. You've heard me talk about the Skill Bridge program with the military. Um, Lamar put me on to that. Shout out to appliance professionals. At the end of the day, you got to understand you can't go to business the old way in 2023. And the thing that bothered me about the industry when I came in is that I used to catch so much flack because I thought differently. And I'm looking at them like I'm not thinking different. I'm actually thinking now. No, y'all asses here in the dark ages, you know. But the reality was it hurt my feelings. Now I realize you just got to move on and let your life be a servant. You just got to make your moves. And then, people will get in where they fit in. The reality is in 2023, you need to be planning for 2026, which means you need to start planting some seeds. All these guys with these big businesses, the first thing I do, I go straight into the hood. I go straight to every high school. I get a joint program with the high school for what they call that when they go and they you give them credit or something. You know, they team up
Internship.
with the toast. Yeah, internships. Give them something to do during the summer. Give them some after school stuff. You know, a lot of you guys sponsor the little league teams and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, y'all got to develop these relationships where your business will survive. And then you got a pipeline of techs. And then you got to bring techs in at another level. So when they come in, oh, it's nothing wrong with letting them ride with somebody, but you might want to let them go learn how to, that diagnostic game and from the computer standpoint. And the reason is you got guys that won't touch LG and Samsung, but these kids will eat them up. You
Yeah.
got to understand, you got to move the way the world is moving. And the problem is, I love America. I don't want to live nowhere else. The Industrial Revolution, all this other stuff, everything started here. We need to remember that. We are the originals. The world, we set the pace for the world. Now we lagging because instead of investing in our Votech schools and doing the stuff that Japan and Germany and these other places did, you get a guy from Russia or Germany or one of these other countries, they come over here. They don't go buy a new part. They will dismantle it, put it back together, and it worked better than it started with nothing.
Hmm.
Get somebody out of Nigeria. Get somebody out of Haiti. Get somebody out of Cambodia. Let's keep it a buck. These people have to deal with leftover stuff. So anything that they can make work, they make it work. We need to have the same ingenuity. How many times you guys go in and you can't fix a board because it need a resistor or it need a transistor or something? Come on, or a relay. Really? That's why I love that dude. Who's the dude that has the channel that does the service re-engineers or whatever those guys?
Steve Morrison or Mike Carlson?
Yeah.
Mike Carlson, I think.
Oh, that's right. All I know is I'm in love with him. Him and Hamid Wafa. Shout out to my boy. He's in Canada. Dude is trained by Mila, a beast. I mean, at the end of the day, y'all, we got to realize it's at a point now. Do I oversee my? Yeah, of course I do. Ain't
Do
nobody
you
touching
reckon
my money but me.
Saul
That's only
says, do
because
you
I'm
recommend
paranoid.
business owners take up courses to teach this along with regular tech training?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. Because okay, y'all, let's just talk about QuickBooks. Let's just keep like. Let me tell you one of the things I can't stand. I just was talking to one of my guys, coaching, right, and he was like, "Yeah, I run everything through QuickBooks. I take pictures, all my receipts, everything goes to my accountant at the end of the year." Get a new accountant. First of all, let me tell y'all will go get an accountant, bookkeeper, stay with these people, and it's not wrong with that being comfortable. But I will never turn my paper over. I learned the hard way. I I need to know what's happening with my paper. And if I understand what's happening with my paper, when I do turn it over, I put checks and balances in place where I can catch any embezzlement, any theft. This is the real world. I mean, most people turn stuff over. I mean, shoot, y'all just heard Steve Harvey. His accountant died, and he owed the IRS 420 million or something dollars because the guy never
Yeah.
sent the checks in. The checks they found, his secretary found the checks under his desk, and they were pulling the exact amounts out of the check, out of the bank of his checks without cashing the checks because the person could sign for that. I mean, y'all got to get this business game right. Look, that's not what the topic's about, but this business is nothing to play about. You do not need to be ignorant. You need to understand what your taxes look like. You need to understand what your finances, you need to understand how you got to have money to expend a business. Like, it's a whole situation. Like, when I see people out here paying for equipment, paying for this, when it could be, that's just a different conversation. It really is for me because
We
I
should
do
probably
not
make that
play.
an entire episode, Miss Ward.
It really is that there. Cause see, there's people that feel like you shouldn't have business credit. Let me explain something to y'all. This is America. We are a capitalistic society. And for those of us that understand we live in the United States corporation, the corporation of the United States, it's a whole different game. And so whenever you want to deal with business, just like when you buy a house and property, you gotta have business stuff in order. So You got to understand the basics. There's no reason for people not to understand basic accounting. There's with YouTube University. There's no excuse. You got QuickBooks training. But the problem is we done got so lazy. I mean, anytime people go to school, they don't have to learn how to write in cursive. Come on, man. Really?
Yeah.
You got to get your basics, because once you get your basics, you're good. The other thing is too many people rely on other people to train them. So if Miss Ward have a course, I give it to you. Oh, the course is gonna make you win. No, no, no. You gonna make you win. What you do with the knowledge applied is what brings success. And most people do not apply the knowledge because let me give y'all a prime example. Now this is embarrassing, but I'm gonna own it. Went and bought an HP printer, right? And you know how you can print directly from your phone these days, blah, blah, blah. So I brought it because I'm in a hotel. The hotels I'm in, they have business centers, but I'm so anal. I just like keep my stuff next to me so I can just do what I want to do it, right? So it kept hooking up to the Wi-Fi at the hotel. And normally you're home, what do? You set your HP printer up through your Wi-Fi at home, you print that way, boom, boom, boom. So I was having a problem with Wi-Fi Direct. It took me an hour to sit there and figure it out because I kept getting frustrated. So, but did I call somebody? No, I just figured it out. And I need people to understand you are an American. That's what we do. We figure it out. We figure it out. You can figure out your business. You can figure out everything. You don't have to pass this stuff on. You pass it on when you have to, but understand how it works so you're not taken advantage of. You know how many people I know went from SEAL system training to SEAL system training trying to get the answer? They went from TMM, they went to Darden, they went to, ABC, blah, blah, blah. And what they didn't understand is I don't care how much training you're getting, if you don't apply it consistently, every time you go to a job, what should you guys be doing? You're going to have a problem on the job. Your butt should be at home figuring that problem out. So the next job, you don't have that problem. That's an opportunity to learn. You're Look, you live in the USA. This is what we do. We figure it out. Period.
That's right. And as far as the forward thinking of, what's to come next year, next 5 years, next 10 years, I think it's important that we realize and look at the patterns we see now. The stuff you're seeing, a lot of guys and gals out there won't touch LG and Samsung because it's different to them. To them it's more complicated. Personally, I don't understand that. But if you think the stuff's more complicated now and you're not willing to put in the effort to learn and grow and evolve as these appliances evolve, just hang your tool bag up. Go ahead and take it to your shed, lock the door, and go find something else to do because you are going to get left in the dust. Because the people out here that are like Miss Ward and so many in the Alliance community that are out there learning the new stuff and learning how to troubleshoot these new appliances, we see new stuff all the time. And if you don't, you have two choices. If you don't sit there and learn the new stuff that's coming down the pike and start to like Miss Ward said, apply the knowledge that you get, then you're never going to grow as a business. There's companies out there right now in my area that won't touch LG and Samsung. We hear it every single day. I called 15 companies and you're the only one that will do LG and Samsung. It's not true. There's other ones in the area. Shout out to Scott Holt and Bill Trice and my real ones out there. But I I saw that when I first started my business. I saw that. No one was doing LG. No one was doing Samsung. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
at the same simultaneously, my phone is ringing off the hook for LG and Samsung. So I had a choice to make. I could either say, yeah, everybody else is saying they're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it either. That
Mm-hmm.
is one of the dumbest business decisions I could have ever made. What I did was I hooked up with Scott Holt and I hooked up with Bill Trice and I said, hey, you come out on this call with me, show me how to work on these things, it's yours. Now, I was extremely fortunate that there's awesome people like them in my area. I'm not saying that there's going to be people like that in your area, but you need to pay your dues. You need to go out there and pay for the training. You need to go out there, and if you got to get LG certified, get LG certified. If you got to get Samsung certified, do it. Whatever it takes. But if you're going to sit there and say, "Oh, this new product's coming down the pike," um, I'm just going to not work on it. Okay. I, Me personally, I would like to personally thank you. Because it's going to keep my phone ringing. It's going to keep my marketing cost at zero. It's going to keep me busy without spending an ounce of money in advertising. I would rather dump thousands of dollars into training and work on everything. So whoever calls my phone, I can work on it. Then sit there and dump thousands of dollars into advertising so I can just cherry pick the Whirlpools, the GEs, and the Frigidaires. That's just me. Y'all can do what you want to do.
Hey
Yeah.
man, I had the same experience. Like when I started out, I wasn't real sure if I wanted to do the whole business thing or not. I was just making some money, and then followed the path. But people would call at the beginning like, "You work on Samsung dryers?" Like, sure, I'll go figure it out. The very first one, and I'm like, "What? It's got like 27 screws, but it's the same thing on the inside." Absolutely, I love Samsung dryers, but I wouldn't do refrigerators because I didn't know what was going on. And then there was one day we turned down 6 refrigerators in one day, and I said, "No more, absolutely not." That night, I spent 3 hours in YouTube University watching Bill Newberry and all the others. And the next day, I started taking refrigerators. It took me about 6 months to figure it out, bumping the edges, giving refunds, recalls. That's where it is. And then I turned down sealed systems, and I got tired of it. It's you got to do like Miss Ward said, do what nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
Like R600, I think is the next thing.
It
It's
is. Yeah.
if you're not
It's,
like I'm not at R600 yet. I'm behind. I'm losing, and that's going
Yeah.
to get fixed.
yeah.
And at
Yeah.
the
I do.
end of the day, people get intimidated by new things, and they get comfortable and they get complacent. When
Yep.
you get comfortable and complacent, and this isn't just in business, this is in life. Comfort and complacentness is the enemy of growth and success. Whenever you're comfortable and complacent in life, you're not growing and you're not going to that next level. It's hard to go uphill. It's easy to coast downhill, and it's easier to just go on that smooth path. But when you want to keep pushing to that next level in any aspect of your life, whether it's business, your marriage, your relationships with your children, anything in life, you have to start getting out of your comfort zone. um, I'm a big proponent of goal setting. I know Miss Ward is, and I know Miss EJ. Miss EJ, Miss Ward. Sorry, EJ. Miss Ward and Mr. EJ Magic Mike. Sorry about that, buddy. But I know we're all big goal setters. Your goals, and my mastermind crew is in here, and they're like, TK, you're the worst goal accomplisher on the world. But I set them, and I set them, and I have goals. So you guys just hush in the comments. But those goals help me to get out of my comfort zone. I don't set comfortable goals. I set goals that are going to be hard to acquire. And you can ask my mastermind group. More times than not, I come to the mastermind and I'm still working on goals. I'm still trying. But at the end of the day, that's what keeps me pushing forward to that next level is I have these goals, and if I'm going to be complacent and comfortable, I'm not going to attain those goals as quickly. And maybe that's one thing I need to do. I need to get more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that everyone needs to be very clear. They need to stop being intimidated about my business. A lot of questions people ask me are really fear-based questions. Um, Like prime example, when I go home and every semester I pay for a semester uh, down at a technical college. One is to represent and to support the VOTEC schools in South Florida. And I go to a class that's actually taught by Mr. Zilka down at Miami Tech. And it's in the hood, you know. But I support them because you should. But also every time I go, I work on R600. And I work on R600 so I stay current. And I have the privilege of working with Mr. Zilka directly, and I want to give him his flowers while he's here. This is a guy that has really sacrificed to teach and train. Uh, I'm gonna just be keep it real. The least of us. I see him work with kids that don't have high school diplomas, trying to find that way. Why am I about to tear up now? Ooh, y'all about to get the soft side of Miss Ward. Y'all know I don't like showing y'all the softer side of Sears. Y'all might need to take this down. But the reality is that I always have a soft heart for people that give back to struggling communities, or you know that give them an opportunity to really find a living wage. And appliance repair will give someone a living wage, and the sky's the limit, because it's still, you can still go out and do your own thing. So I've watched this man hook these people up with jobs with what's that, Harbor, what is that company name? Any other time it's on my, it's one of those made, but several, with from Frigidaire to Fisher Paykel, all those guys down there in Harbor. What is it? Oh,
Great.
not Harbor Freight. What is that company? Any other time it's on my, okay. It's the one that does the Hobart. There it is. I watched 6 students go get jobs at Hobart.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit, man. And then he hook them up with jobs with GE and of course R&R. But the kids, I watch these kids, like I said, and adults, repurposing their lives. I'm all about supporting that. So I think it's important that people don't get intimidated in business, period. And it's nothing wrong with learning QuickBooks and all that and getting the program, throwing stuff in there. But QuickBooks creates the P&L for you. Anything you want to learn is out here, y'all, and you can find it in business. Just it's okay. Just take your time, because we all struggle every day, man. Trust
That's
me.
right.
Man.
That's right.
I like you sharing that, and I know you don't like getting that soft feeling, but I'll tell you, it's the real stuff. Uh, the people that are helping those that want to help themselves but don't have all the opportunities as some, but they're out there hustling. And I'll tell you, having that care for other people is is why people listen when you're rough. You come hard, but we know you care, and that's the same thing. It's I think it's important. So don't kick yourself in the teeth too long about it. You just don't want to stay soft all the time. We need you to kick our butts.
And
Uh,
I know we got to wrap this thing up because we all got stuff to do. But
yeah,
seeing as this is the grind, and the Service Alliance group, and we got Miss Ward on here, I think it's important that we mention this. When If you can align yourself and your business with a mission, just like what Miss Ward was just talking about, you have to find something to drive you bigger than just money. Money's important. I don't care what nobody says. Money is important, but it is a tool. Just like your meter, just like that schematic diagram, just like your screw gun, money is a tool. And you have to decide how you, as a business owner and as an individual and as a believer, or as a person that loves people, are you going to use that money to only grow yourself, or are you going to use that money to build others up? Um, I have not, I have not succeeded in my goals. I've said this a million times. The two groups of people that I aspire to help the most are inner city youth and veterans. I'm sitting in front of my store right now, about to go in, and I've already visioned and I've already prayed for this building, that see, now Miss Ward's gonna get me all choked up, that one day this building is gonna have veterans and inner city youth in it, learning the trade and learning how to do things. And the beautiful thing about the opportunity we have as business owners is you're not giving handouts. You're not giving that person $100 and saying, here, I hope everything works out for you. You're giving them a hand up. You're giving them an opportunity to better themselves. And I didn't know that about Brother Rick, but that's a beautiful thing, man. I already loved the dude, and I've never met him other than on here. Um, so, I just want to leave, we got to wrap this up, but I want everybody to leave this morning thinking about the bigger picture of your business. What can you use your business for to help another person? To give that person who hasn't had maybe the opportunities you have. We live in a very blessed country. We're very blessed people, but not everybody's got it as good as I do, or EJ does, or Miss Ward does. And we have to take our blessings, and God doesn't want us to just take those blessings and say, oh, thank you, Lord, I'm gonna keep on doing me and looking out for myself and my family. No, he wants us to take those blessings, and he wants us to go out and help others that might not have the opportunities we have. And you want to talk about a fulfilling life, a life that you wake up every day and you feel like you have purpose. When you align yourself with a mission like that to actually empower people and help people, there's no amount of money in the world that could replace that type of life that you can live. That's
Amen.
all I got to say about that.
So we got to go. If you've liked what you've seen here, and you want more of it, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, servicealliancegroup.com. If you've liked this better than normal, it's because of this one. Check out
No,
YouTube.
hold on, I got the wrong finger.
We could probably put our fingers in our ear. Uh, Miss Ward, the queen of appliance repair, the boss with the most sauce. Uh, Solid Steps to Wealth. Check it out. If you want a daily and sometimes more than daily kick in the teeth to keep you on your game, she drops nuggets all the time. She's giving this all for free. Check her out. She does coaching and training as well in different areas. So check that out. You got coaching links. It's on all of her channels. If you want them, go there and check it out. We got some comments here. Gosh, just popped in here. Jenny, a business tithe. Give 10% of your time and talents. People forget the time part. Saul, thanks, guys. I'm motivated today. Miss Wolf, I'm staying away from the muffins. Have a great day. Luke, thank you, Miss Ward, and EJ and
What's up?
TK.
What's up, Luke?
Miss Ward, the GOAT. All right. Hey, keep coming back. We're going to keep bringing game changers into the videos right here with me and TK on Freestyle Friday. Come back Monday for me and Doug. We don't know what's going to happen. Check it out. We're going to drop some game too. Check it out every weekday morning. Miss Ward, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Anytime. Anytime.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
Y'all have a
next
blessed
Friday,
day today.
next Friday, me and TK is going to talk about goals. So bring your
Oh
goals.
boy.
All right.
Get your
See
goals
y'all.
ready.
Have a great weekend.
Peace.